Hello everyone, I'm back. My name is Daniel, and in this video I'm going to make some corrections to my past video about the day of the week and also show you exactly how mathematically we can prove what day of the week it is using Stellarium and using your spreadsheets and therefore correct Jarrett on what day of the week 32 AD was. But let's use the tools. Don't take my word for it. You've got to do your work. So I'm going to show you how I did my work, and you can do it on your own. So what I have here is I have Stellarium up. I'm looking at the moon. I've got the date time up, and you can bring the date time up over here. And I've set the location to Jerusalem. All right, so we are now looking at the sky in Jerusalem. And we can pick the year. So if I take a year like 30 AD, and then we go to the equinox, which would be March 22nd, is pretty close to the equinox. And you'll see that technically in this year, the equinox and the dark moon, moon is 2.3 illuminated at noon, right? If you could actually see it, you wouldn't see it at noon, but this is the phase of the moon, and you can see right here, illuminated and moon age, which is down here, 29.2 days old. So you're not quite to the new moon. And you can advance the hours here, and as you do so, you see that it's now adjusted the moon age 29.4, it's illuminated 0.2%. Right, so we're getting closer to the conjunction, and as we go forward, right, moon age 0.1 days old. So now we've gone over and we've crossed the conjunction. Now, what you want to do is you want to find the first visible crescent after the start of the spring equinox. So you look for that crescent right around sunset. So if we go to 7 o'clock on the 23rd of March in 30 AD, you can look at the moon and you can see that it's 0.8% illuminated. Now, most people would say that that's really, really hard to see. But we're going to give it the benefit of the doubt and assume that it was seen at this time. So, of course, this is at sunset, which means that we go to the next calendar day, the 24th. I'm just going to set it to noon. So this would be noon on the first day of the month. Now, to get to Passover, we need to advance this by 14 days. So this is day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We are now at noon on Passover, assuming the year and the month started as you just saw. You can now go to Julian day here, and you can copy this number here, and this gives you the precise time. And this is a continuous number that goes from today all the way back to back then. This is the number that Stellarium is using as its internal simulation. So you take that and we come over to our handy dandy spreadsheet and we can paste it in, right? So, there we go, Julian day. Oops. Copy that and paste it. It's the same number. Or one day earlier than I was using before. All right, so we have that Julian day, and of course, it's saying that that's April 6th for 6:30 AD. Numbers, the spreadsheet I'm using, says that that is a Thursday. And the Julian day says that. If we go to today, well, what is today's Julian day? Well, we can easily do that. We go to 2025. And we go to May 2nd at noon, Julian day, there you go. 797,875. 797,875, same day, okay? So I can calculate the difference between these 2 days, and I get that. Now I'm going to use a numbering system for days where Sunday is 0 and Saturday is 6. It's just the normal, the first day of the week is 0, the last day is 6. It's the same thing as 1 to 7. It's just mathematically, it's easier to do 0 to 6 because we can use the modulus operator where you calculate the remainder. And so with that, we can now say, we know how many, we can divide the delta days by 7. And we see there's this 0.14 remainder. So there's an extra day left over, right? Remainder of 1. And so if today is 5, which is Friday, then the day of week here is 4, which is Thursday. And that actually agrees with what numbers gives for that date. So we have a tool here with numbers that does give you accurate days a week, at least to 30 AD. You start going to BC and it doesn't quite work as well. But, so there you have it, 30 AD Thursday. And that's based off of a 0.8% visible moon. Is that likely? Most people would say you can't see that, which means that 30 AD would be a Friday. And I previously said in my last video that 30 AD was completely off because all I did is I added 2 to the day. I basically got my remainder off and I added the wrong direction to the day. I got my sign wrong. And I was confirming it was confirmation bias of what Jarrett was saying about the days being off. So I want to go and look at 32 AD, which Jarrett said was a Wednesday. And you're not going to take my word from it. We're going to do it right here. And I'm going to show you that it was a Sunday and that 32 AD is not a Wednesday. And therefore, his whole theory doesn't work. So let's go back here. We're going to go to 32 AD. And we're going to go to the equinox just to get our bearings. Okay. Now we want to go to the first moon. All right, so this is the dark moon. 21.9 days, 0.6 days old. All right, so this is the dark conjunction and start of the month, which his story will show you that first visible crescent is what you need to look for. So let's go to 7 o'clock and see when the first visible crescent might be. So if I go forward 1 day and I've got a illuminated 3.8% at sunset on March 31st. So that means that it was just sighted. So the very next day, April 1st, is the calendar day. So now we are at noon on the first day of the first month. Now we got to go to Passover. So we're on day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It makes sense. Here's the blood moon he was talking about. Stellarium even picks it out. So we know we're looking at the same day. The moon is blood red. All right. We'll go to the Julian. We can, I'm going to, we're at noon. And the reason I use noon is because I use noon on Friday, our time, and noon there, so we don't have any partial days between there. I can copy this date here, and I can come over here, and I can paste the Julian day there. Okay. And I can calculate the difference, right? Delta days, the difference between those two. And what do we end up with? Day of week is 1. And 1 is a Monday, which is interesting because this is saying that this particular day is a Sunday. Now this is where you can have some differences with time zones, right? So this might be using my time zone or the other time zone. But we know that if you started with Israel time and you went back exactly that number of days, you end up with day of week being 1, which is a Monday, not a Wednesday. And that was a very visible crescent. And so 32 AD on a Monday is just incompatible with Saturday Sabbath. I'm sorry. So he had a theory that it was off by 2 days, and he added 2 days to get to a Wednesday. But I just demonstrated in the sun, moon, and stars with Stellarium that we know the exact number of Julian days between those 2 dates. And there is, I don't know what to make of that, and how he got the extra 2 days that he claimed. So if we're going to say 32 AD is the year, and 32 AD is on this particular day, on this particular blood moon, right? Because we know we have the exact day he was talking about, because this is the blood moon he claims is the blood moon of Passover at the cross. Then it's definitely on a Monday. And what you do here is you just take today's day of week, today is Friday, you subtract the delta days, right? So that tells you you're going backwards in time from today, that many days, and then you divide by 7 and take the remainder. And that's exactly what I did. Modulus today's day of week minus delta days mod 7. That's going to give you a number between 0 and 6 inclusive, and that tells you the day of the week. So 1 is Monday. So there you have it. We're using Stellarium and the stars to prove things. I went and I did this. What I don't know what I was calculating last night, but I believe what happened is I went the wrong way on the rounding, right? So if you have 0.57 and you offset today by 0.57 in the other direction, then you're going to get a different day of the week. And I think that that's the mistake that I made. And it's very, very easy to make these mistakes. So that's why I'm showing very carefully that today is a Friday. We subtract so many days, right? If we subtract exactly 7 days, if we subtract 7 days, we go back to a Friday, right? So we know it works. We go 14 days, we're still a Friday. We go the delta number of days, and we end up on a Monday, right? So if we start with today and we go backwards 1 day, right? Let's say we're just going back 1 day instead. 4. Well, 4 is a Thursday. Yesterday was Thursday. The math checks out when you're doing it short term. It's a pattern that repeats through time. So we know we're doing this correctly. So I think Jarrett was actually mistaken. And then I was mistaken for repeating his 2-day error. And so I need to retract that and show you exactly how you can figure out what day of the week it was on any given year based upon any particular theory that you have. So if you go to 30 AD, it was a Thursday or a Friday. I don't see how you can get to a Wednesday in 30 AD. Right, let's look at 30 AD real quick and say 30 AD, and well, when does that say? 4/6 is a Thursday, so we're saying 4/5. So 4/5. All right, so this is when Wednesday Passover would have been if you were going on whatever calendar you're using, right, for 30 AD. So this is the 14th. We can go find the start of the first day of the month. So 14, 13, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're saying at noon on the 24th is the first day of the month. And so we go to the prior evening, and we go up to 7 o'clock, and you're saying that a 0.7% sighting of the moon is what is visible. And that's challenging in my book to see, but you know, that's the theory. So if you're saying Wednesday, you're in 30 AD, you're saying that this 0.7% illuminated moon was seen, and that the first day of the month is here. So we're going first day of the month, and then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. There's Passover. I must have done something wrong because this is going back to the 4/6, which is the Thursday date. So just for clarification, we're saying we start on a Wednesday and we go back. So this is the 14th, 13th, 12th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then this is when it would have to be seen. 0.6% or 0.7. I got that exactly. All right, so we say this 0.8% is visible. We're on the 23rd day. So the 24th is the first day of the month. And go to noon. First day of the month. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. All right. So you get 4/6 at noon, and that gives you your Thursday. Yeah, that's definitely a Thursday. I don't know what I'm missing. If I started the... Anyway, I've got off by 1 here for calculating the Wednesday one. Because Wednesday, in order to get on Wednesday, I have to start the month at 3/22. So here's the dark moon, 0.3% illuminated, 0.2% illuminated. So the 23rd is the first day, if you saw 0.3, right? And then go forward from there. First day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day, eighth day, ninth day, 10th day, 11th day, 12th, 13, 14. 4, 5 is Passover, and that would be a Wednesday. So I don't know why I went going backwards. I was getting back on the same day. But in order to get Wednesday, you have to assume that the moon is visible on 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the night before. I think I was forgetting to take the night before. So you're saying that this moon, 0.2% illuminated, is the moon that starts the month. Now, modern Jews will say that the dark moon is the moon that starts the month. But historically, they used the sighting of the sliver moon to start the month. So there's a way. So you can get a Wednesday Passover if you go with a dark moon. You can't get a Wednesday Passover if you go with a sliver or first visible crescent. So that's the catch. So Wednesday or Thursday, for 30 AD, you definitely don't get a Friday. In 31 AD, you get a Friday. In 32 AD, you get a Sunday. And you can go back a day if you're going with a dark moon, get a Saturday Passover, go forward a day, get a Monday Passover. But there's no way you can get all the way to a Wednesday Passover in 32 AD. And so, let's just go back to 31 AD real quick. 31, start at the equinox, go forward, get all the way until we get to the moon goes dark, right? Moon age, 0.2 days. So we just crossed the dark moon, and now we're looking for the first visible crescent. You're not going to see a visible crescent at 0.1% illuminated. So the next night, 1.3% illuminated. This is the most optimistic case that you see it. It's still difficult to see, but some claim you can. So this is the night that you would see it. So the following day at noon is the first day of the month. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 425. Okay. So Friday. So best case scenario, you sight a 0.12% visible moon. You get a Friday on 31 AD. But more likely, it's the moon that you're going to sight is going to be 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. This is the 3.6% illuminated. Right? You're clearly going to see this sliver, right? So this is the one you're most likely to see. You're not as likely to see a 1.3%. And if you go back earlier, you're using the dark conjunction. So depending on which moon you use in 31 AD, you can get a Thursday, a Friday, or a Saturday. But you can't get a Wednesday in 31 AD. So if you're claiming Wednesday, 31 AD is out of the picture. Thursday and Friday, you can make work in 31 AD. And of course, that's the conclusion. So somewhere Jarrett went wrong. I applied his 2-day offset to the common numbers everyone uses, and I was wrong. So let's just do one more example, just so that I can repent if I have to of rude awakening. I don't know what the result's going to be here, so we're going to do this in real time just to show the process. So if we go to 28 AD and we go to 323, we can now find that we need to go to the first dark moon. Okay, so here's the dark moon. And we want to go to the first visible crescent, 1.3%. So this is the earliest day of the week it could be visible. And so so this is the first day of the week, and now we go to noon, first day of the month. So we're on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Here you go with Passover 4, 28, 28. 4, 28, 0028. Okay, let's just see what numbers kind of does. So Wednesday is what numbers says, which appears to align with what he's saying. And we come over here, we take the Julian day and we copy that and we paste that and we bring today down, we bring the day of the week down, and we take the delta days, we bring that down, we can just bring all these things down. And what does Stellarium tell us the day of the week was? 3. 3 is a Wednesday. So Mr. Rude is safe. I was wrong. And I've proven with Stellarium and with the math that 28 AD was a Wednesday, assuming you're following the first visible crescent. And that's the earliest possible viewing, sighting of it, right? So he has to be very optimistic of what is visible. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 would be when the sighting was, right? And go to 7 o'clock. So he's saying that a 1.3% moon was sighted. Possible, but if it wasn't sighted, then of course it would be a Thursday in 2880. All right, so there you have it. I've shown my homework. I've shown that Jarrett was wrong in how he interpreted the Julian days being off. And I've validated it with Stellarium, and I've validated it with a spreadsheet that shows you the delta time. So I hope you found this educational and that you can utilize this to verify for yourself exactly what day of the week any date in history was. Thank you.